This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to a very special sports catastrophe video. Now, again, for the second time in 3 days, I couldn't find a topic to do on this day. I've done a birthday boy, but I don't have main topics. So I decided to just give you this video. Now, this is clear, crisp, cool Lake Tahoe. It's a golf resort, but it's playing host to 2 NHL games. The first one between Colorado and Vegas actually got delayed because of the glaring sun. And Vegas beat Colorado 3-1. And then today, on the 21st, it's the Flyers, it's the Bruins. They'll take each other on. But anyway, this got me thinking. It's like there's not a lot of videos that talk about all the outdoor games that happened in NHL history. So I'll talk about the NHL outdoor games. Now, contrary to popular belief, there were some exhibition outdoor games being played before the first ever official NHL regular season outdoor game happened. The exhibition games, there was one at Marquette Prison in Marquette, Michigan, where the Red Wings took on the prison hockey team. And in 1956, Boston played 3 Newfoundland places: Bay Roberts, Brigus, and Cheerstown. Oh, I guess Close Point. Basically, 1 period each. And basically, at Conception Bay, in Conception Bay, Newfoundland. So basically, yeah, they played that. And then came the big one, Caesar's Palace, 1991. Las Vegas wanted to attract some fans. So in a parking lot, they decided to have an ice hockey rink and have the Rangers and Kings face each other at Caesar's Palace. It was a very good idea, and it was weird how they could get the ice in such a warm climate and all that. The temperature was like 70 Fahrenheit in Las Vegas that night. The New York Rangers, just before they got to win the President's Trophy and get knocked out by the Penguins in the second round of the playoffs, beat the Kings 5-2. Yes, Gretzky played in that one too, I think. Yeah. But anyway, the Rangers were a smart team and all that. Heck, they still had Tony Amonte, and they still had Tony Amonte on that team. But yeah, the Rangers beat the Kings 5-2. Kelly Rudy wore a camera on top of his goalie mask for prosperity. And then all of a sudden, grasshoppers came in the third period, and people saw grasshoppers. In 2003, the first official NHL outdoor game in the regular season happened. November 2003, it was in Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, home to the Edmonton Eskimos. Well, I shouldn't really say Eskimos because Edmonton's changing their team name because of how insensitive it is to the Inuits. So anyway, Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, the game between Montreal and Edmonton, in front of 57,000 fans. It happened. The first NHL outdoor game ever. However, they decided to have an alumni game beforehand in the crisp, cool afternoon of Edmonton. Montreal and Edmonton All-Stars would face each other one-on-one. And the Edmonton All-Stars won 2-0 on goals by, shockingly, Ken Linsman and Marty McSorley. Not really goal scorers. But Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier both were on the Oilers alumni team, which was huge. The Canadians brought back players from the 1970s, mostly from the 70s. Basically, Guy Lafleur and Steve Shutt played for them. But the story of the alumni game was the goaltending of Grant Fuhr and Bill Ranford, who just shut down Montreal, making amazing saves and all that. But Montreal would get their revenge in the real game, winning by a score of 4-3. I forgot who scored the winning goal, but anyway, it was interesting. And then there were no outdoor regular season games till NBC said that they wanted an outdoor game every year on New Year's Day to counter the programming that CBS, Fox, and the other networks would do, especially to counter ABC/ESPN's college football stuff. Or even when, well, they would have done it January 1st on a Sunday, but they can't do it on a Sunday because of NFL football. So the Winter Classic, of course, being made to counter the college football period. Of course, I was not too happy because, I'm a college football guy, that on New Year's Day. The first New Year's Day outdoor game was January 1st, 2008 at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo when the Sabres took on the Pittsburgh Penguins. The game was memorable for one thing: snow, and lots of snow. Buffalo really gets a lot of snow. So basically, through snowflakes and all that, Pittsburgh and Buffalo had to go to a shootout. But Sidney Crosby scored the winning goal in the shootout. On New Year's Day 2009, it was at Wrigley Field, the legendary baseball home of the Cubs. The Red Wings and the Blackhawks in the original six rivalry. And the Red Wings won 6-4, which included a fantastic goal by Pavel Datsyuk going end to end. In 2010 at Fenway Park, Philly and Boston would tangle. And it was amazing to see the Green Monster have a hockey rink near it. Boston won 2-1 thanks to an overtime goal by Marco Sturm, who is famous for being part of that Joe Thornton trade in 2006 that sent Thornton to San Jose for 2005, it meant, for Marco Sturm, among others. Ironically enough, the Flyers and Bruins would face each other in the Stanley Cup playoffs in the second round months later. And that's when the Flyers came back from 3-0 down to sink the Bruins in 7. In 2011, you got the Capitals and the Penguins facing each other off at Heinz Field. Washington won the game 3-1. Unfortunately, it was more memorable for Sidney Crosby's concussion and all that. That really hurt him. I think it was Brouwer or Steckel. I think it was Steckel who did that to him. But a month later, the first non-Winter Classic matchup in 8 years happened. The Heritage Classic in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. McMahon Stadium, home to the Stampeders. And not the Vince McMahon. Fuck him. Anyway, February 20th, 2011, it happened. Almost 10 years ago. The Habs and Flames faced each other off. Unfortunately, Calgary would pitch a shutout, 4-0 on the Canadiens. Mika Kiprusoff at the prime of his career. And then the Winter Classic happened in 2012 and 2014. January 2nd, 2012, it was held on a Monday because of the NFL on Sunday, wanting the Sunday football to themselves. They played at Citizens Bank in Philly, where the Rangers took on the Flyers. It was a good game, but Mike Rupp scored 2 goals for the Rangers in that game. And basically, it went down to a Danny Briere penalty shot with not much time left in the game after a Ranger closed his hand on the puck in the crease, which is legal. Briere missed the penalty shot, and the Rangers won the game. I was miffed because I had to work that day, January 2nd, and I missed the first few periods of the Rangers game. Anyway, Winter Classic was supposed to be 2013, but that 2012-13 season was shortened due to the lockout. But the same two teams, Leafs and Red Wings, would meet in the 2014 edition at Michigan Stadium, which had 105,000 people, which is amazing. That's more than the 2011 Heritage Classic and 2012 Winter Classic put combined. And the Leafs won in the shootout. Amazing. In 2014, the NHL decided to have a stadium series. Basically put more outdoor games out there. To coin a pun. So Dodger Stadium hosted the first stadium series game on January 25th. Again, Ducks and Kings. And it's like, how are they going to get the ice to work? Los Angeles is humid, and LA rarely gets cold. But they did it. LA put on a lot of stuff. They put outdoor yoga, outdoor beach volleyball, and all that. And they had LA legends, Bob Miller, who did the hockey broadcast, and Finn Scully doing baseball stuff, basically to be MCs and all that. Basically, yeah, it was legendary to see them. The Ducks went on to beat the Kings 3-0. Jonas Hiller with a shutout. The next day, the Rangers would take on the New Jersey Devils at Yankee Stadium. The Rangers, unfortunately, would be the road team because of some kind of MSG tax thingy, my Bobby. So basically, they played the Devils. That game actually was delayed by an hour because of the glare. But the Rangers crushed New Jersey 7-3. It was also famous for CeeLo Green doing his musical act in the second intermission, basically flipping off the fans. Rangers took on their eternal rivals, the New York Islanders, 3 nights later, also at Yankee Stadium, and beat them 2-1. March 1st, 2014, at Soldier Field, the Penguins and Blackhawks would face each other off, and the Blackhawks got a gigantic 5-1 win. Think of it. Yeah, Blackhawks crushed the Penguins 5-1, which was amazing. All that. So, yeah. The next day, the Heritage Classic happened at BC Place in Vancouver, which had a retractable roof. Ottawa took down Vancouver 4-2. Now, a lot of people didn't really think it was an outdoor game because BC Place's roof was actually closed. So how could it be an outdoor game? But that game would also be memorable for Roberto Luongo not starting that game, even though Tortorella wanted him to start. It was Corey Schneider in it, and that led to the beginning to the end of Roberto Luongo's Canucks career. January 2015, the Winter Classic happened at Nationals Park in Washington, the baseball park. And the Hawks and Caps faced each other off in Washington on a late goal by Troy Brouwer, won the game 3-2. Then they had a Stadium Series game at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, basically well known for being the Niners' home park. And just a few months before WrestleMania happened, the Kings took out the Sharks and beat the Sharks 2-1. The Sharks were the home team mostly because Santa Clara / San Francisco was actually in Northern California. Common misconception. And then on New Year's Day 2016, they had a Winter Classic between the Habs and the Bruins. This was the first Winter Classic that had a Canadian team in it. So basically, they decided an original 6 matchup at Gillette Stadium where the Patriots played. The Habs crushed the Bruins 5-1. Mike Condon, coming in for an injured Carey Price, was amazing. Worst part for Boston fans is that Condon isn't native of Massachusetts. So, yeah. And then they went with a couple of Stadium Series games. First at Minneapolis' TCF Bank Stadium, home to the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and at that time, the Minnesota Vikings. The Blackhawks took on the Wild and got crushed 6-1. Minnesota really wanted it that badly. And then at Coors Field a week later, the Red Wings would take on the Avalanche in Denver. Red Wings would win 5-3, but we got to see Patrick Roy in an alumni game in an Avalanche jersey. That was worth it. And then they had a Heritage Classic October 2016 at Investors Group Field in Winnipeg. And the Oilers took on the Jets and beat the hometown Jets 3-0. Still, the Jets' retro outfits, kind of like their WHA jerseys, were sick. As in, great. And all that. Then came the Centennial Classic, January 1st, 2017, because it marked 100 years of the NHL. Literally, of course. So the Centennial Classic happened at BMO Field in Toronto, home to the Toronto soccer team. Red Wings and Leafs would face each other. The Red Wings would be down 4-1 and force overtime, but the Leafs scored an overtime goal by guess who? Austin Matthews. It was amazing. I really liked it because the Centennial Classic happened on January the 1st, and basically it didn't interfere with college football. The next day was the Winter Classic in St. Louis's Busch Stadium between the Blackhawks and Blues. And the hometown Blues won 4-1. Then they went Stadium Series February 2017 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. They went back to Heinz Field. I believe it was the first stadium to host 2 outdoor games. Well, Yankee Stadium, but they come back to it, I think. But anyway, the Penguins beat the Flyers 4-2. So that was big. Like Pittsburgh taking down their Pennsylvania rivals and all that. So after that came the NHL 100 Classic on December 16th, on approximately the same day as the NHL started in 1917, although it was December 19th, by the way. It really started. They decided that the Habs and Sens play each other at TD Place Arena, a stadium in Ottawa. Habitants got crushed by Senators 3-0. Then January 2018 was the Winter Classic at Citi Field, where the Mets played. The Rangers would take on the Sabres, and the Rangers won the game 3-2. Again, the Rangers had to be the road team because of tax reasons. And then came another Stadium Series game. March 2018, the Leafs and Caps would play in Washington. Well, play in Annapolis, Maryland, at the Navy football stadium. Caps crushed the Leafs 5-2. I believe there was a power outage at that time. So anyway, yeah. Then the Winter Classic went to the golden home of college football, Notre Dame Stadium. Bruins and Blackhawks would face each other, and the Bruins won 4-2. Then they had the Stadium Series, February 2019, at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly, where the Penguins and Flyers would face each other off at Philly's football field. Flyers ended up winning the game in overtime in front of 69,000 fans. And all that. And then October 2019, they decided to have another Heritage Classic between two Canadian teams, Flames and Jets. The funny thing was, it wasn't in Calgary or Winnipeg. It was in Regina, Saskatchewan. I guess because it's the province in between Alberta and Manitoba, which is weird, playing an outdoor game in a place that doesn't have NHL hockey. Although they had a Stadium Series game at Navy Stadium in Maryland. Jets beat the Flames in overtime 2-1. And then last year's Winter Classic in 2020 was held in Dallas between the Predators and the Stars. And it was like, how could they get an NHL rink in the Cotton Bowl Stadium? Like, it's a landmark, but it's Texas. But they did it, and they attracted 85,000 fans. Dallas beat Nashville 4-2. And then they had a Stadium Series game at the Air Force Academy between the Kings and Avalanche, which the Kings won 3-1. That was just a month before COVID ruined everything. And then the NHL is at Lake Tahoe. It's Vegas versus Colorado and Philly versus Boston. Colorado won the first game 3-2 last night. It's been announced that there will be a Winter Classic game in 2022 at Target Field in Minneapolis home of the Twins, between the Blues and the Wild. And then Carolina will host a Stadium Series game at Carter Finley Stadium, home to North Carolina State's football team, as the Hurricanes will wait for somebody else. So anyway, give you a few stats. 25 of the NHL's 31 teams have played an outdoor game. The 6 that have not played yet: Arizona, Carolina, Columbus, Florida, Tampa, and Vegas. Although Carolina will get one soon. 12 teams will have played more than one game. Chicago's made the most appearances, 6. 20 metropolitan areas have hosted outdoor games and all that. Montreal and Nashville have played in outdoor games, but have yet to host any themselves. And it's weird how Montreal doesn't have it. I would love to see one at McGill Stadium, or whatever they call it. New York City and Chicago have hosted 3 games. All that. There were some cancellations of outdoor games. Dallas was supposed to play at Houston's Reliance Stadium part of the 2011 preseason, but it was canceled. The 2013 Winter Classic was canceled because of the lockout. Winnipeg was trying to get a game as early as 2016 and all that. The NHL wanted the game held in December 2015, but Winnipeg said, no, wait, it's too close to the Grey Cup, which was November 29th, 2015. But they found a thing and all that. For the 2020s, for this current season, the 2021 Winter Classic was supposed to be at Target Field, and Carolina was supposed to host a Stadium Series game. But because of COVID, it made a lot of issues and all that. So anyway, the team with the worst outdoor record is Buffalo, 0-2, losing both 2008 and 2018. the team with the best record is the New York Rangers, 4-0, which is amazing that the Rangers would play. The Rangers are 4-0 in outdoor games, and Washington is 3-0. If you must know, that's amazing. How the Rangers are the best team by that. Boston is 2-1, and Philly is 1-3. Like those two teams are going at it tonight, but So yeah, the Rangers are the best team outdoors, 4-0. Nice. So anyway, yeah, Lake Tahoe is a great scenic place, but it worked too well with the sun blinding everyone's eyes. Whatever. I liked it. I'm Jeff Diamond. Ado.